गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः। So we are looking at the summary, and yesterday we read till here. Brahmaraji, may I start directly from the summary part reading? We had enough Manana, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah, you can.
From here I will read, how does knowledge lead to moksha? Or I will read from the what is Bheda Pratyaya, which was...
I think we have to start from here.
Yeah, I read till Bheda Pratyaya. Before that, the last line, the notion of duality which are necessary for performing karma are negated. You may still do karma. But there was like few sentences in here which were not clear. So we thought of repeating. That's what you had
please
suggested.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how does knowledge lead to moksha? How is this so? How does the knowledge of Atma have its culmination in moksha? Shankara says that it is by being the remover of all notions of duality. We have to understand this well. Self-knowledge has the capacity to negate all notions of duality. Bheda buddhehe nivartakatvat. That is from the Bhashya, Shankara Bhashya. Why? Because the self is non-dual. That is, because the self is Brahman. That Brahman is Satya. It is Jnana and it is Ananta. Because nothing is standing separate from it. All that is here is one Brahman, and that is Atma. There is nothing else. Therefore, once one knows the self, there is no notion of difference. Why does Shankara say this? The negation of all notions of duality is moksha, the state of being non-dual. If that is moksha, as long as there is a notion of difference, there is no moksha. Kriya karaka phala bheda buddhi avidyaya atmani nitya pravritta mama karma aham karta amushmai phalaya idam karma karishyami iti iyam avidya anadikala pravritta. This is also from the Bhashya. Suppose this notion of difference is negated. What will be the situation with reference to action? We have seen this in the verse Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. Here, Samadhina. Here, the one who does the action is Brahman, the object of the action is Brahman, the instrument of action is Brahman, everything is Brahman. What does it mean? Doing takes place, but it is negated. Such action is like a roasted seed, good for enjoying, but not for germination. Bhogaya na tu prasavaya. Similarly, if you are looking at the whole thing as Brahman, the agent karta is mithya, the object karma is mithya, the action kriya is mithya. They all become mithya only when we know the satya, which is a karta, that is not an agent, and in which everything takes place. Knowing that I am that Satyam Brahma makes everything else negated, badhita. Then whatever happens is all entertainment. The whole time that you cry in the theater, you know it is a movie or a play. You may identify with the hero or heroine, and even though you know there are only actors standing on the stage or projected on the screen, and you know it is all a drama, still, because of the identification, you cry. In this country, there is an entertainment tax. If you laugh, you pay tax. If you shed tears, you pay tax. Why should you need to shed tears? Because it is entertainment. In drama, this sentiment is called a rasa, and it is a rasa only when you know the situation is false. If someone is crying because a loved one has passed away, it is not a rasa. There is no aesthetic value if somebody is really in sorrow. In real life, we get horrified when somebody is shot. But if we see it in a movie, especially if the hero slays the villain, we consider it entertaining. It is the same here. Once you know that all this is false, mithya, it will still evoke emotion in you, but it will not touch you at all. That is called Bhakita Anuvritti. Yeah, please remember this sentence. Once you know that all this is false, mithya, it will still evoke emotions in you, but it will not touch you at all. And that is called Badhita Anuvritti. That recognition that everything is Brahman is present. That is, there is this Badhita, Kshamyatam, there is this Brahma Buddhi with reference to everything. I repeat, that recognition that everything is Brahman is present. That is, there is this Brahma Buddhi with reference to everything. The means of doing the action is Brahman. What is done is Brahman. The one who does it is Brahman. That is called Badhita Anuvritti. When we say that everything is Bhagavan, it is because everything is false Badhita. Only then can everything be Bhagavan. Otherwise, everything is what it is. A tree is a tree, a horse is a horse, and a cow is a cow. You cannot say that all these are one unless they are looked upon as mithya and something else is one. It is like saying that a pitcher, a pot, a lid, a cup, a saucer are all clay. That is Badhita Anuvritti. All of them are clay, even though you will use a cup for serving coffee, not a lid. You know what to use for what. There is purpose, usefulness, even though your vision of all of them is of one clay. That is called badhita. Therefore, if all the karmas and the agent, the instrument, etc., are badhita, there is non duality. What kind of karma is necessary then for moksha? Self knowledge first negates the agent, karta, and all the other karakas associated with action. The agent is Sat Chit Ananda Atma. The body is not separate from Sat Chit Ananda Atma, nor is the result of the action separate. All that existed before, including the mains, pitars, are not separate from Sat Chit Ananda Atma, and neither are those who will be born later. The individuals, jivas, who are unmanifest are now Sat Chit Ananda Atma, and so are those who are in the process of being born somewhere. All of them, their karmas and their results, phalas, are not separate from Sat Chit Ananda Atma. Now, where is karma in this? The knowledge of the self, Atma Jnana just removes the doer result action division, Kartri Karma Kriya Bheda. When this is gone, where is the question of a synthesis of knowledge and action? Jnana Karma Samuchya. Is it Samuchaya or Samuchya? Kindly correct me. Jnana Karma Samuchaya. Synthesis of knowledge and action, jnana, karma, samuchaya. The notion, samuchaya, right?
Samuchaya.
Chaya.
Samuchaya.
Samuchaya. Yeah, क्षम्यतां. Jnana, karma, samuchaya. The notions of duality, which are necessary for performing karma, are negated. You may still do karma, but the notion of division, bheda pratyaya, is negated. Should I read further or we the point that there is we are paying for crying also was not clear, like it was we know that it is not real, but still we cry in the same, because we identify with the names and forms. In the same way, in the samsara also, because of our identification with nama rupa, we say that because, and then there is pain, the suffering. If we consider it as a movie and everything is the self only, everything is one. The way in the dream, it is the same consciousness which is manifesting in different nama rupa. In the same way in samsara also, if we live with that oneness, then we will just take it as a entertainment. This is my little understanding, because there is no question of when we have negated and when we know that it is that one Sat Chit Ananda Ananta Sat Chit Ananta Atma. Yesterday, very nice one small understanding was given by Swami Sarvapriyanandaji, that when you pass through a clean lake, you will see the reflection of everything around it. Maybe birds, mountains, the birds are flying in the lake. in the same way, but imagine that there is no tree, no birds, everything is there. Our mind is also like that. The mirror, our mind is such mirror where every passing clouds are reflected. If it is cleaned, if our antakarana is shuddha, then you can, the same way Guruji also says, no, that we have to be like a mirror, not like a camera. Let it pass through. Should I read further or you want to share? Anyone wants to share? Okay. What is Veda Pratyaya? Shankara enumerates the possible divisions that may be involved in an action. In any action, there is the action itself, Kriya, the things connected to the action, Karaka, and the result of the action, Phala. The action is the basis for all the Karakas. If you ask who does the action, that gives the first Karaka, the agent. What does he do? That tells us the second Karaka. And if we ask how he does it, that gives us the third. For what purpose he does, it gives us another, the fourth. And from where he does the action gives us the fifth. Finally, where the action was done gives us the seventh. The sixth relationship is not a karaka because it is not involved in the action itself. It is a nominal connection, and therefore Shankara mentions it separately as the result phala. When all these are seen as separate, it is called Bheda Buddhi. Wow. The one who does the action must be separate from what he does, why and how he does it, when and where he does it. The result also is separate. Let us look at this in terms of one ritual, the Jyotish, Jyotishtoma. Kindly correct me, Jyotishtoma. By whom is it performed? The one who is desirous of heaven. Swarga Kamena. Not as in the mantra we saw by Brahmana. It is done by the one who thinks I am an agent, Karta, and wants to achieve the result, Karma Phala, which is heaven, Swarga. This is called Veda Buddhi. If you know that you are Brahman doing this action, there is no problem. You enjoy doing it. Here, however, it is done by the one who has the notion that Atma is the doer. Then what is offered? The offering in this ritual is ghee, samit, etc. Ghee is not Brahman there, but something separate from the one who offers. Where does he offer the ghee? Into the fire, Agnau. But Agni is not Brahman for him. It is other than himself. What is offered? Huta. The ghee is different. The ladle, Arpana, by which it is offered, is different. And those for whom it is offered, Agni, Surya, and Prajapati, are all different entities. None of these is looked upon as Brahman. That is called Bheda Buddhi. Wow, so very beautiful. Kindly share your understanding. Just give me 2 minutes. I will just read once again. Very, very important. What is Bheda Pratyaya? Shankara enumerates the possible division that may be involved in an action. In any action, there is the action itself, Kriya, the things connected to the action, Karaka, and the result of the action, Phala. This is Karta Karma Kriya here. The action is the basis for all the Karakas. If you ask who does the action, that gives the first Karaka, the agent. What does he do? That tells us the second Karaka. And if we ask how he does it, that gives us the third. For what purpose he does it gives us another, the fourth. And from where he does the action gives us the fifth. Finally, where the action was done gives us the seventh. The sixth relationship is not a karaka because it is not involved in the action itself. It is a nominal connection, and therefore Shankara mentions it separately as the result phala. When all these are seen as separate, it is called Bheda Buddhi. The one who does the action must be separate from what he does, why and how he does it, when and where he does it. The result also is separate. Let us look at this in terms of one ritual, the Jyotishtoma. By whom is it performed? The one who is desirous of heaven, Swarga Kamena. Not as in the mantra we saw by Brahman Brahmana. It is done by the one who thinks I am an agent, Karta, and wants to achieve the result, Karma Phala, which is heaven, Swarga. This is called Bheda Buddhi. If you know that you are Brahman, doing this action, there is no problem. You enjoy doing it. Here, however, it is done by the one who has the notion that Atma is the doer. Then what is offered? The offering in this ritual is ghee, samit, etc. Ghee is not Brahman there, but something separate from the one who offers. Where does he offer the ghee? Into the fire, Agnav. But Agni is not Brahman for him. It is other than himself. What is offered, Huta, the ghee is different. The ladle, Arpana, by which it is offered is different. And those for whom it is offered, Agni, Surya, and Prajapati are all different entities. None of these is looked upon as Brahman. That is called Veda Buddhi. Yeah. I think we have to just recall those कर्ता ने कर्म को करण से that adhikaran, we have to remember the grammar of our language. For all vibhaktis, we have understanding, right? So very beautifully explained by Swamiji that except the sixth case, in all others, we have the separation, that there is a separate karta, there is a separate kriya, there is a separate karma, and there is a separate phala. That is Bheda Buddhi, when everything is separated. But as per the non-duality, everything is one. That is nothing but the self. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno. That was the understanding which was given in the previous paragraph. But here it is Bheda Buddhi. Because of the Bheda Buddhi, we take it as separate. And that is the cause of the samsara. And here Swamiji further explains the cause of the Bheda Buddhi is the Ajnanata, ignorance. Shall I read further, or anyone wants to share or correct the understanding? I assume that I will read further, right? Ignorance is the cause of this Veda Buddhi. What is the reason for this Veda Buddhi? It is only due to ignorance. If all of them are one thing alone, Brahman, then ignorance of that Brahman creates all the duality. Due to this ignorance, the self Atma is taken as the agent Karta, and everything else becomes different. This is my action. I am the agent. I will do this action for that result. Even if you disown the karma, the law will see that you get the result. It is all due to ignorance and ignorance born notions, which are also called ignorance, avidya. Shankara uses avidya in both senses. When did this ignorance of Brahman start? It has no beginning. It is anadikala pravritta. However, it does have an end. Wow, that is so fulfilling. Although the ignorance is anadikala, it has an end. You can end it by the sword of knowledge. What brings this ignorance to an end? What brings this ignorance of Brahman to an end? The knowledge of the self, Atma Jnana. Why? Because it removes the notion of difference, the Bheda Buddhi, which is nothing but ignorance of non-duality. Knowledge of the self is capable of destroying the idea that I am the doer, this is my karma, this is the purpose for which I am performing this action, etc. In all these notions, the result is different from the agent and the action. The agent is different from the action, and so on. This notion of difference, Veda Buddhi, which is called ignorance, avidya, is removed by the knowledge of Atma. What is that knowledge? Jnana. It is the firm knowledge that I am this pure, non-dual consciousness alone. I am not an agent. I am free from any action, and one for whom there is no result of an action. I repeat, what is that knowledge, Jnana? It is the firm knowledge that I am this pure, non-dual consciousness alone. I am not an agent. I am free from any action, and one for whom there is no result of an action. When I do not enjoy the result, where is the question of my doing anything? I am not the enjoyer, nor do I perform action at any time. And again, there is nothing whatsoever that is separate from me. When there is no one else except me, for whose sake or for what sake will I do anything? Which heaven will I go to when when that heaven is myself? How will I make offerings to Agni and Indra when Indra is myself and Agni is also myself? Other than myself, there is nobody. As this kind of knowledge for which the object is Atma is born, ignorance, which is in the form of a notion of difference, is destroyed. I repeat, as this kind of knowledge for which the object is Atma is born, ignorance, which is in the form of a notion of difference, is destroyed. It is this notion of duality that is the cause for the pursuit of karma. From this, it is clear that karma cannot be the cause for moksha. Removal of the notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi, is moksha. And that Bheda Buddhi will not go unless I remove avidya. Once the Bheda Buddhi goes, action, etc. is not possible. That means that if I do an action, I have this notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi. And as long as this notion exists, ignorance, avidya is there. As long as avidya exists, moksha cannot be there. And I will continue to be a doer, karta, different from everybody else, and thus an individual jiva. Therefore, where is the role of action here? If we are talking of moksha, karma does not have any place at all. In the wake of knowledge, the cause of karma, which is the Bheda Buddhi, that is born of avidya, goes away. When that goes away, action is not there. Very beautiful paragraph. I read once again. As this kind of knowledge for which the object is Atma is born, ignorance, which is in the form of a notion of difference, is destroyed. It is this notion of duality that is the cause for the pursuit of karma. From this, it is clear that karma cannot be the cause for moksha. Removal of the notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi, is moksha. And that Bheda Buddhi will not go unless I remove avidya. Once the Bheda Buddhi goes, action, etc. is not possible. That means that if I do an action, I have this notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi, and as long as this notion exists, ignorance, avidya is there. As long as avidya exists, moksha cannot be there. And I will continue to be a doer, karta, different from everybody else, and thus an individual jiva. Therefore, where is the role of action here? If we are talking of moksha, karma does not have any place at all. In the wake of knowledge, the cause of karma, which is the Bheda Buddhi that is born of avidya, goes away. When that goes away, action is not there. In spite of this, another question is raised. Suppose I perform an action. Can it remove my notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi? No. Action is the product of Bheda Buddhi, and the product cannot remove the cause because it is not opposed to it. Virodhi. Karma, therefore, is not opposed to avidya because it is its product. As a clay pot is not inimical to the clay because it is a product of the clay. If the pot is inimical to clay, when the pot appears, the clay will disappear. Any product being dependent upon its cause is mithya and is not inimical to that cause. So too, karma cannot be opposed to avidya because avidya is the cause for the very karma. The karma that we do, like Agnihotra, etc., is not opposed to avidya, being a product of avidya, which is the notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi. What removes the Veda Buddhi? Knowledge of the self, Atma Jnana. It is enough for moksha. We do not require anything else. Karma is not a means, sadhana for moksha. Karma yoga, however, is an entirely different thing. It is the means which produces the mind necessary for knowledge. But karma as such does not produce knowledge. It is the same thing what Bhagwan has been saying. So as long as the Veda Buddhi, avidya persists, the samsara persists. So doing only karma will not bring moksha. Yeah. But doing karma as a yoga, karma yoga, brings us that state of oneness. Yeah, please share. Pramaraji, kindly explain. It is very beautiful.
Can you just repeat this last paragraph again?
Yeah. From here, this kind of knowledge, or from in
Yeah.
spite of this?
Yeah, you can read from as this kind of knowledge.
Yeah, okay. As this kind of knowledge for which the object is Atma is born, ignorance which is in the form of a notion of difference is destroyed. It is this notion of duality that is the cause for the pursuit of karma. From this, it is clear that karma cannot be the cause for moksha. Removal of the notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi, is moksha, and that Bheda Buddhi will not go unless I remove avidya. Once the Bheda Buddhi goes, action, etc. is not possible. That means that if I do an action, I have this notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi, and as long as this notion exists, ignorance, avidya is there. As long as avidya exists, moksha cannot be there. And I will continue to be a doer, karta, different from everybody else, and thus an individual jiva. Therefore, where is the role of action here? If we are talking of moksha, karma does not have any place at all. In the wake of knowledge, the cause of karma, which is the Bheda Buddhi, that is born of avidya, goes away. When that goes away, action is not there. In spite of this, another question is raised. Suppose I perform an action, can it remove my notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi? No. Action is the product of Bheda Buddhi, and the product cannot remove the cause because it is not opposed to it, Virodhi. Karma, therefore, is not opposed to avidya because it is its product, as a clay pot is not inimical to the clay because it is a product of the clay. If the pot is inimical to clay, when the pot appears, the clay will disappear. Any product being dependent upon its cause is mithya and is not inimical to that cause. So too, karma cannot be opposed to avidya because avidya is the cause for the very karma. The karma that we do, like Agnihotra, etc., is not opposed to avidya, being a product of avidya, which is the notion of difference, Bheda Buddhi. What removes the Bheda Buddhi? Knowledge of the self, Atma Jnana. It is enough for moksha. We do not require anything else. Karma is not a means, sadhana, for moksha. Karma yoga, however, is an entirely different thing. It is the means which produces the mind necessary for knowledge. But karma, as such, does not produce knowledge.
So there's going back to the first, the question that was raised in the beginning of the summary is, what is the means for knowledge? Is it jnana alone, karma, or a mixture of the two, or a combination of the two? So here Shankara is very clearly bringing in the aspect of this Bheda Buddhi and this Bhadita Anuvritti, Bheda Pratyaya. Bheda Pratyaya and Bhadita Anuvritti are kind of opposite. If you consider Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagnav, that verse is Bhadita Anuvritti, where you see everything as an illusion and there is only one thing that is there. Whereas Bheda Pratyaya is like this Agnishtoma, where this person, there is an agent of action and he's doing it for something. And all those associated with the action, the karakas, become different. I mean, they're all different. For whom is it done? By whom? From where? For what? So all that becomes the karakas. So as long as this Bheda Pratyaya exists, there is this Bheda Buddhi, there is this action, and any karma can therefore not be liberating, because it is done for something. There is a difference there. There is you and there is someone else. But that is not what Shankara says there is, as long as there is this duality, there is no moksha. Moksha is when that non-duality is recognized. And that self-knowledge, that non-duality, that self, how can this go? This Bheda Buddhi go? Is only with self-knowledge. The self-knowledge is that there is only one. There is no two. And when there is only one, where is the question of action? For whom are you doing it? For what are you doing? All the karakas will disappear. There is only one. And the Bheda Buddhi itself is a product of avidya. Avidya is beginningless, but it has an end. And the end is with the sword of knowledge. With knowledge, this avidya can go. And because karma is a product of avidya, it cannot remove avidya. It is not opposed to avidya. This is what we learned in the second shloka, I think, of the Atma Bodh, where since karma is a product of avidya, no amount of karma will remove the avidya. It is like the clay pot. The pot cannot remove the clay. The clay is there in and through that pot. Similarly, all karma, only action. Karma has avidya ingrained in it. So how can this karma remove avidya? So you need something other than karma to remove it. And that is knowledge. But here, Shankara makes a clear distinction. Karma as against karma yoga. Karma yoga is it prepares the mind for knowledge to happen. So that is totally different. This is why Gurudev also says, all your practices, all that you're doing will not give you moksha. And he'd included everything in that, including the Sudarshan Kriya. So Sudarshan Kriya alone, again, if you just do it as, if you look at it, it is a standalone karma. But, so there are people who think, oh, Sudarshan Kriya is the only thing that will lead me to moksha. Gurudev, in just one sentence, he said, nothing of what you're doing will lead you to moksha. This is the meaning, in the sense that that is only preparing the ground, but ultimately it is knowledge. And therefore, practice of karma yoga includes it. In the definition of karma yoga itself is, one, you have moksha as your only purushartha, and you're doing it to get rid of your raga dveshas, to create that ground, and you're pursuing knowledge. So we should have this clear understanding. Of course, we are not saying we're not negating the importance of our practices. Practices are so very important to cleanse the mind. That is important. But that alone is not going to lead us to moksha. That clarity has to come.
See, the Sudarshan Kriya, the Kriya itself says it is karma. You see, the name Kriya, Sudarshan Kriya, it is a karma. But after the Sudarshan Kriya, where you go into the meditation, that is what is needed. You see, Kriya itself is a Sudarshan Kriya, and then you lie down, no? And you are with yourself. Means you will find yourself. That Sudarshan means you are seeing yourself. Therefore, Guruji says only Bastrika doing this is counting and just running. No. You have to stay at least 10 minutes, he says, but it will continue up to 20 minutes if you are doing correctly the Sudarshan Kriya. The Kriya is a part of the karma, but where you take the rest is the meditation. There you are one with yourself. There you don't know whether you are sleeping or you're this one, you are completely cut off from the world. You will not find anything. And that product of that Kriya, the last, where you be with yourself, that is the most important. That the Kriya helps to go to that. And but once you know that
space is like we are in the Karana Sharira, but there is still that layer of avidya which is there, which is covering us.
It will be there, but it means we have to, when by practice it will increase. By practice of Sudarshan Kriya, you go into the meditation very easily. That sahaj will come.
No doubt about it. But that meditation itself is not the end, which is what is very clearly being mentioned. It is, you're in a state, even samadhi for that matter. If you remember some time back when we were reading one of the chapters, Swamiji very clearly mentions, you're in that samadhi, but then there is some sound or something that comes back and you're back to square one. So that is not moksha. What we're talking of is not just that nice feeling state. All of us feel very good at the end of Kriya because you're in that sattva. Sattva is highest at that point. Even as we're having our Manana, this 1.5 hours, we're all in that sattva mode. We're all very good, happy. But that is not moksha. What is moksha is self-knowledge. Are we getting rid of this Bheda Buddhi by doing Kriya and doing that meditation at the end of the Kriya? It is only cleansing us. But we have not attained realized or recognized the self. That layer of avidya is there. So how will that layer of avidya go? Only through knowledge, and that pursuit of knowledge is important.
Yeah.
So isn't it? So it's a combination of these two. It's karma yoga, which is required, plus, of course, pursuit of knowledge is included in karma yoga. And then, I think as we read further, we will get to know how exactly Shankara takes karma yoga as, and that's what he's done. Krishna, all through Bhagavad Gita, has been talking of that. Although Arjuna gets, time and again, he gets this confusion. Which is better, karma or jnana? Karma or jnana? He goes on and on with that. There is no doubt that jnana alone is liberating. But for that jnana to dawn, you have to prepare your mind. An unprepared mind, you cannot get knowledge. You might read all the books, you might read everything, but an unprepared mind, which is entangled in raga dveshas, entangled in fear, in this bheda buddhi, how is it going to get jnana? Right? For that, you require karma yoga. I think as we read further, we would get this clearly. So, this is not to negate that our practices are not important. They are very, very important. You should hold on to that. Be committed. Do it every day. But at the same time, understand where it stands. Because that is not our ultimate goal. That being in that beautiful state is not the end. We need to go beyond that.
Yeah, very beautiful. Yesterday, Malti ji had brought a very beautiful topic. Maybe after reading further, we can, that Nava Rasa she had told. Now that Rasa aspect also, I have little confusion again, isn't it? Along with our sensory things like whatever Rasa we call it. But except Bhakti Rasa, I believe all the rasas are the product of our ragas, isn't it? So when we follow them, then again it will lead us to samsara. So that was my yesterday the little confusion, but we can talk later. But kindly help us to overcome that part also, please.
Hariom. I think what Malti ji was saying was that once you get you overcome that rasa, you have that fulfillment. One is interested in suppose he is interested in drinking or in any of these sensory pleasures. So it is said that until that your sensory your requirements, they aren't full, they are not filled, then you will not move ahead. So that tripti you should have, that only that will have when that rasa which you are gaining from that, it has filled to the brim. Then only you would be able to leave. That is why it is said that whoever is doing, either he's enjoying non-veg or drinking, don't say, because you can just educate them, but you cannot force them to leave, because until that tripti would not happen, they would not leave. And we have seen many drunkards who have to they have spent so many years drinking and suddenly they stopped, and some of them moved towards spirituality also. So it is that until the tripti happens, that tripti of that rasa which he was gaining from the particular thing, it happens. Until then, I think a person is engulfed in the same pleasure, whatever he is enjoying. I understood that from what Malti ji said. Maybe I'm wrong, but this was my understanding.
Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe we can discuss it because there is no end to this rasa, you know. I mean, as long as you continue, there is no end unless you understand it with knowledge, and that comes from
But the
within only.
tripti will happen. I think that tripti of that rasa will happen by itself until it is not satisfied, that sense organ. No, until that it will require again. It will demand for more and more.
Mhm. But
I understood this way. Yeah, maybe I am not right.
because I was, for tea, I was so much, but for the past 2.5 years, I mean, it has gone completely. I used to enjoy to the extent that I used to skip meal, and Brahmaraji knows that how I was, I mean, but that has gone completely. I have no interest at all now. So it is not that tripti. It is through the knowledge that this is something which is not real. This is not going to help, and this is like an obstacle and instead. So that self knowledge for anything, I mean, for anything, that will be no problem. That is again debatable. We can talk it later on. The meaning of the word tu. In his opening statement in this part of the Bhashya, Shankara says, however, self-knowledge alone has the status of being the cause of moksha. The meaning of the word tu in his opening statement in this part of the Bhashya, Shankara says, however, self-knowledge alone has the status of being the cause of moksha. Now he is going to comment on his use of the word however tu here. This word is meant to exclude the two other views. Tu shabdah पक्षद्वय व्यावृत्त्यर्थो न केवलेभ्यः कर्मभ्यो न च ज्ञानकर्मभ्यां समुच्चिताभ्यां निःश्रेयसप्राप्तिः इति पक्षद्वयं निवर्तयति. तु शब्दः पक्षद्वय व्यावृत्त्यर्थो न केवलेभ्यः कर्मभ्यो न च ज्ञानकर्मभ्यां समुचिताभ्यां निःश्रेयसप्राप्तिः इति पक्षद्वयं निवर्तयति. This word is meant to exclude the two other views. Initially, Shankara had presented three possibilities as the means for moksha: knowledge alone, karma alone, and the combination of knowledge and karma, gnana karma samuchya. By use of verb tu in his statement that knowledge alone is the means for moksha, he now excludes the other two possibilities. Neither the combination of knowledge and karma nor pure karma will produce moksha. On the other hand, two, pure knowledge is the means for and is in fact moksha. Among the three, one alone is the means for moksha. That the other two are not is indicated by two. How they are not, he goes on to explain. So, Jnanena eva moksha. So, here Swamiji is further explaining that only knowledge leads to moksha. Moksha being nitya is not produced. Moksha is not something that is produced, it is akarya. Akaryatvat cha nishreyasasya कर्म साधनत्वानुपत्तिः कर्म साधनत्वानुपपत्तिः न हि नित्यं वस्तु कर्मणा ज्ञानेन वा क्रियते अकार्यत्वात् च निःश्रेयस्यस्य कर्म साधनत्वानुपपत्तिः न हि नित्यं वस्तु कर्मणा ज्ञानेन वा क्रियते. Moksha is not something that is produced, it is a karya. That being so, it is not tenable to say that karma is in the means of for moksha. Why? Something that is outside the scope of time or eternal, nitya, cannot be produced either by karma or by knowledge. And moksha must necessarily be eternal, nitya. If it is not what we are defining as moksha. For whom is this moksha that we are talking about? It is for the Atma, the individual. Only if that Atma is Nitya can there be moksha. And in that case, knowledge of the Nitya Atma alone is moksha. That is why
No sound, no audio.
Sumaji is there. If you can take over, in 5-10 minutes, kindly I request if someone can take over. I repeat once again this paragraph.
Which document is this?
This is Brahmaraji has shared in the group summary. It is drivegoogle.com.
Okay.
Summary.
Let me check.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, no
thank you.
problem. Yeah, or I can continue sharing also if you can read.
Yeah, I can do that. Definitely.
Yeah. Dhanyavad. Yeah, moksha being nitya is not produced. Moksha is not something that is produced, it is a karya. That being so, it is not tenable to say that karma is the means for moksha. Why? Something that is outside the scope of time or eternal, nitya, cannot be produced either by karma or by knowledge. And moksha must necessarily be eternal, nitya. If it is not what we are defining as moksha. For whom is this moksha that we are talking about? It is for the Atma, the individual. Only if that Atma is Nitya can there be moksha. And in that case, knowledge of the Nitya Atma alone is moksha. That is why Nitya Moksha is identical with the Atma. Being Nitya, it is not created by karma or anything else because it is already existent. What is eternal, Nitya, is not created. If moksha is uncaused, then knowledge is also useless. An objection. Now, it has just been said that this uncreated moksha cannot be produced either by karma or by knowledge.
1 minute before you continue. So, when whatever way is being read now is the stand of the Purva Pakshi. So, that we have to keep in mind. This paragraph, this an objection. Can you go up to the thing which is, yeah, where was that? I think you'll have to go down below. Yeah, this one. This is an objection, right? So, Shankara is taking the stand of the Purva Pakshi here. So, we have to have this in mind when we are reading or listening to this. So, if moksha is uncaused, then knowledge is also useless. This is the stand of the Purva Pakshi. Yeah, please go ahead, Bela. Or Bela or Sumaji, whoever is doing it.
Sumaji, are you available, please? Can you continue reading?
What you will be reading is this, Purvapaksha.
Yeah, now it will be.
Now what we read. Until now what Shankara said it.
Yeah, correct. Until now, it was Shankara's.
Yes. That is what I was just stunned.
No. That is why.
Oh,
But the reason I interjected here is this paragraph is an objection.
Okay.
So that we should keep in mind.
Can you read once again that paragraph?
Is moksha being nitya or the meaning of the word tu from there? There are two paragraphs.
Purvapakshi.
No, Purva Pakshi will come now. That I have not started.
Okay, then that's.
Yeah. That I have not, I mean, that is not started.
Okay. She is, yes, good that you brought it, Brahmaraj. Thank you.
Sumaji is there, if she can continue.
Yes, I can continue from now, is it? From now?
Yeah. This one. If moksha is uncaused, yeah, please go ahead.
If moksha is uncaused, then knowledge is also useless. That's an objection. Now, it has just been said that this uncreated moksha cannot be produced either by karma or by knowledge. Based on that, a question is raised. If moksha cannot be produced by knowledge, how is knowledge a means for moksha? Is it not also useless? If knowledge is the means for moksha, moksha is created by knowledge. But if moksha is not created, neither knowledge nor anything else can be the means for it. All these arguments are very close arguments. So, please follow them carefully. Since moksha is nitya, it is not created either by karma or by knowledge. Once karma is dismissed on the basis.
1 minute.
Pardon? Okay. Since moksha is nitya, it is not created either by karma or by knowledge. Once karma is dismissed on the basis that moksha is not created, knowledge also has to be dismissed in the same fashion. Then knowledge as a means for moksha is useless.
Support in under the neck or under the back if you wish to. You can keep your hands कमर के नीचे रख सकते हैं हाथों को या फिर कंधे.
Imiji, Once karma is dismissed on the basis that moksha is not created, knowledge also has to be dismissed in the same fashion.
Simiji is unmuted, I think. Simiji
Now she
is unmuted.
Then the knowledge as a means for moksha is useless, and the statement that knowledge is the only means for moksha has no validity. Knowledge removes ignorance and leads to moksha. So this objection is clear, no? Because they think, they are saying that moksha is a created thing. So if it is created, if it is not created by karma, then even knowledge cannot create it. That is their argument, and it sounds good. But we must not forget that moksha is nitya, and it is therefore not created by karma or by knowledge. So that is their argument or their contention. Knowledge removes ignorance and leads to moksha. Shankara responds, no, we do not say that moksha is produced by knowledge. It only removes the cause for bondage, ignorance. When ignorance is removed, the visible result is moksha. And in this way, knowledge seemingly produces moksha. Knowledge has the status of removing the ignorance and also has its end in the immediate result of moksha. It is not a result that is not immediately seen. But what? I didn't understand this. Knowledge has the status of removing ignorance and also has its end. Okay, knowledge has its end in the immediate result of moksha. Oh, correct. So once you get moksha, knowledge is also finished. So it is not a result that is immediately seen, adrishtya phala, like heaven. Once ignorance is removed by knowledge, there is moksha. In fact, moksha is in the form of this knowledge. Thus, removal of ignorance alone is called moksha. This can be understood with an illustration. The sun is always in the form of light, but now, though seen, it is not properly seen by you because of the clouds. The clouds themselves are illumined by the sun alone. But now you see only the clouds and not the sun. That is, its bright nature is not appreciated. Then a breeze blows and drives away the clouds, and now the sun shines bright. What has the breeze to do with the sun getting back to its brightness? Its brightness is not because of the breeze. You cannot say that the breeze gave the sun its brightness. At the same time, the breeze does a job of removing the clouds, covering the brightness of the sun, and enables you to appreciate it. So too, knowledge also does not produce moksha. It only removes the ignorance that is the cause for bondage. Freedom is always from bondage. And here it is the bondage created by ignorance, avidya. Once knowledge removes the avidya, it goes away. And what remains is the immediate result of moksha. So fine. The real nature of the self is known right away, not later. Previously, there was unknowingness, that is, the status of being ignorant. For whom? It is Atma that is viewed from the standpoint of being ignorant. Ignorance is not the property of Atma. But for the time being, as long as one is ignorant, ignorance is conceived of kalpita for Atma. This ignorance is also opposed, virodhi to knowledge. And knowledge, vritti jnana, is opposed to ignorance. Once a person has knowledge, that knowledge producing vritti, having removed the ignorant, goes away. And there is no longer any possibility of ignorance about the Atma. Atma is already eternally free, nitya mukta. Knowledge does not produce moksha. It merely removes the cause for bondage. Wow. If this is properly understood, we can say that knowledge becomes the means for moksha. It does not produce moksha because moksha is always an existent fact, nitya, being the essential nature of Atma. Did I miss a line? If this is properly understood, we can say that knowledge becomes the means for moksha. It does not produce moksha because moksha is always an existent fact, nitya, being the essential nature of Atma. But we have to pursue knowledge because that alone removes the avidya. That is why we say that moksha is by knowledge alone. Jnanena eva mokshaha. It's clear, no? So we need everything. First, we need antakarna shuddhi through karma yoga. And that karma yoga should be done with that bhava, yajna bhava. Then only it brings about antakarna shuddhi. And in this purified mind, only jnana can blossom. And the ultimate blossoming of the jnana is the removal of ignorance about the superimpositions on the Atma. So once that is clear, then there is no role for knowledge also. So that also is gone. So you realize or you rediscover the eternal free nature of Atma. And then you are free from misery. Sounds very nice. But a lot of practice is needed. At least for me. I'm sure it's for everybody. Say something. Are you all there?
Yes, yes, very much.
So we keep going, and that is why this ultimate blossoming happens only with the grace of the Guru. So this avidya is removed only by, though it is a jnana vritti, even that is a grace of the master. So we just have to be here on this path. How much we get through our head is fine, but we just be here. That's all. Yesterday I was listening to Narad Bhakti Sutra by Gurudev, the latest one. And in this, that also he gave a shocker like this. He said that you don't get bhakti or love through knowledge. You can't do anything for love. No action can bring you love. No knowledge can bring you love. So it was something like this only. till then I was also thinking, oh, knowledge is the one that will give you freedom and that ultimate blossoming in that love. But it doesn't happen that way. And Gurudev said that it is a happening. And you won't know it. You will not know it through a thought or a vritti. It's not a knowledge to know, he said. Even reading all this itself gives me a sense of freedom from a lot of thoughts that I had about what I have to do and not to do and all that. This knowledge itself is kind of freeing me. I feel light. Okay, we can have some manana for a few minutes, and then which thing should I play? Brahmanyanavali or Brahmanyana, or what is the other one? Nirvana Shataka. Which one? Am I audible? Jai Gurudev. Someone say something.
Yes, Somaji, you're very clear.
So what is your take on this? That jnana is not going to get you moksha. It is only removing the ignorance, and that will result in moksha. So neither karma nor jnana.
The Purva Pakshi's objection is that if moksha is not created or caused, that it's uncaused, how is knowledge going to be how is knowledge giving us moksha? That is the Purva Pakshi stand. Purva Pakshi is into karma. So he's saying, how can you say knowledge will give you moksha? So Shankara's answer to that is, moksha is something which is nitya, it is pratisiddha. It is already there. What is covering this is that avidya. And therefore, in order to remove that avidya, you require knowledge. Something which is opposing avidya is only knowledge and not karma, because karma itself is a product of avidya. And this knowledge is only a means. It is immediate. The effect is immediate. It is like cutting that log of wood and making it into two pieces. So there is no difference in time between cutting and making it into two. Or even that example that was given, the sun which is covered by the cloud, the breeze comes and just moves away the cloud. So the sun is always there. Moksha is always there. We are forever free. The only thing is that we have this notion, the superimposition, this maya that is covering up, that says that we are bound, that we are limited. And removing that layer of maya is what requires knowledge. So therefore, the pursuit of knowledge is a means for moksha. And that is the only means, finally, ultimately. So he very clearly clarifies how knowledge is the means. It is not creating moksha, it is only removing that layer of ignorance. The mirror is already clean. It only has a layer of dust and dirt on it. So you require the soap and water to clean it up. Once you clean it up, the soap and water also disappear. The shining mirror that was already clean is the mirror stands up as it is. So it is only removing this mala that is required. And removing the mala is with knowledge. I think we can close here and you can play either Maya Panchakam or Nirvana Shatkam.
Okay.
Unless anybody else wants to share anything, otherwise we can take the Manana on to tomorrow. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev. मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानिनाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्
न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धो न मित्रं गुरो नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहं